introductory lesson for beginners, and in this video we're going to look at my top 5 picks for different chord progressions you can use when you are playing Rumba Flamenca, and we're going to look at some various levels. We'll have some for beginners and then we'll have a couple more advanced ones using some bar chords. So let's get started. My number 5 progression is a E minor to B7 to A minor progression, which might sound something like this. So, free chords, and this is a great one for beginners as well. So first we have an E minor, which is middle finger, 2nd fret on the A string, and then a ring finger, 2nd fret on D. Everything else is open. And that's our E minor, that's the first chord we're going to use. Then we have B7, but it's a different voicing of a B7. This is a free finger version of B7, unlike the typical 4-finger using the pinky. So we're going to keep that middle finger on 2nd fret of A. The pointer finger goes to the 1st fret on D. And then a ring finger, 2nd fret on G. Everything else is open. It's a more dissonant sounding type of B7. Very dramatic but very pretty. So we have E minor and our flamenco style B7. Next we have A minor. We're going to take the middle finger, move it down to the D string, but it stays on the 2nd fret. Then the pointer finger is going to go to the 1st fret on the B string for this note. And this is our A minor chord. So the progression you can use is E minor to B7, back to E minor, to B7, to A minor, where the harmony changes, back to E minor, B7, and finish on your E minor. And of course you can loop this as long as you want. You can pick any strumming pattern you want. If you click the card up at the top, I will put a link to my easy percussive Rumba strumming video where you can learn this pattern of the right hand, and that video also covers the same chord progression. So that is my number 5 pick. My number 4 pick, we're going to do the Andalucian cadence in the first position. So the Andalucian cadence is the most typical chord progression you'll hear in a lot of flamenco music. And it's A minor to G to F to E. But there's a couple different ways that we can play it, so I'll give you a couple of them here. So first, we have the A minor, which we already looked at in the number 5 progression. Next we have a regular G major. And I'm doing ring finger, 3rd fret on E on the 6th string. Middle finger, 2nd fret on A, and then pinky, 3rd fret on the 1st string on the high E string. That's the way I typically play G. If you want to as well, instead of playing G major, you can also do a G7 if you want. And that's the same chord, but take your pointer finger and move it to the 1st fret of the 1st string. And you can pick which one to use. You can either use G major for this, or G7. Totally up to you, they both work just fine. Next we go to F, but we're not going to do a bar chord F, we're going to do what I call flamenco F, and it's basically an F chord with an open B and E at the top. So it almost looks like the bar chord, but it's not held down. So this is pointer finger, 1st fret on the 6th string, ring finger, 3rd fret on A, and pinky, 3rd fret on D, and then middle finger, 2nd fret on G. But your B and E strings are open. So if I turn to the side, you'll see that I am not barred. I am not held down, I am raised. And you get this voicing of an F chord, very, very dramatic sounding, which is more typical to hear in flamenco music. And then we just end on a regular E major chord, which is middle finger, 2nd fret on A, ring finger, 2nd fret on D, and pointer finger, 1st fret on G. So we have A minor, G, to F, to E. Or A minor, to G7, to F, to E. And if you know how to do bar chords, you could do a regular bar chord F as well, which would sound like this. also works just fine. So you have lots of options for this progression, but that is my number 4 pick. For my number 3 pick, we're going to do a version of an Andalucian cadence, but a more dissonant sounding version. So that progression is going to sound like this. Okay, so what am I doing here? First chord is a version of A minor, but we have a lot of open strings for all of these chords, which makes the tone much more dissonant, a little more aggressive sounding, a little more dramatic as well. So here we have our pointer finger on the 5th fret of the 6th string, and then ring finger on the 7th fret of A, and then pinky 7th fret on D. Everything else is open. So we have this version or voicing of an A minor chord. Next we're going to move this shape to the 3rd fret, and then we just have to add one finger. The middle finger is going to go down the 4th fret of the G string. So we get this B note here. And this is our flamenco G chord. Then we're going to move back to 1st fret. Here's our flamenco F. And then we're going to go to E, but instead of doing E major, I'm going to do this E flat 9 chord, which is much more Spanish sounding as well. This is middle finger on the 2nd fret of A, ring finger on the 3rd fret of D, and pointer finger 1st fret on G. This is an E flat 9. Very, very pretty. So the whole progression is that A minor, here's our G, to F, flamenco F, to our E flat 9. Obviously that's a much darker rumba, and like I said, you can use any strumming pattern you already know, and you'll have a new type of rumba. My number 2 pick, we're going to look at another bar chord progression, but this time we're going to be in the Medio Key, which is a very popular key in flamenco. We're going to get a different tone by having a progression that uses these chords. So this is a D minor 7 bar chord. You're going to bar at the 5th fret, but it's a 5-string bar chord, so we don't have to hold all 6 here. Then the ring finger goes to, again, you can think of it as 2nd fret on the D string, and then middle finger can go to the 1st fret on B, under the bar. Okay, that is our D minor 7. Then we're going to take the shape, move it to the 3rd fret, but then you're going to put your pinky finger on the 2nd fret of B. This is a C7. Then take this whole shape, move it to the 1st fret, now we have a B flat 7. And then to resolve, a regular A major chord, or if you want to make it sound a little more dissonant as well, you can do what's called an A flat 9, which is an A chord, and then you take your ring finger, put it to the 3rd fret of G for this note. A little more dramatic sounding. So, again, D minor 7 to C7 to B flat 7 to A. Or, same thing, A flat 9. Okay, and that is my number 2 progression. For my number 1 pick, we're going to look at the progression of Entre Dos Aguas by Jorge de Zofia. This is a really cool rumba. What's great, it's really a laid back rumba, it's not very aggressive. So here we have an A minor 7, that's middle finger, 2nd fret on D, and then pointer finger 1st fret on B. Everything else is open. That's A minor 7. Then we have a bar chord. This is a B minor 7. second fret, it's a 5-string bar chord. And then ring finger is 2nd fret on D. And middle finger is 1st fret on B. Again, if we're thinking of the bar as the nut, this is the easier way to think of it. That's our B minor 7. Then back to A7, A minor 7. And then we do a regular B7. So earlier we did a B7 without the pinky, but now we're going to add the pinky finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string to get this chord. So A minor 7, B minor 7, back to A minor 7, to B7. And this is a really light sounding rumba, especially if you do a strumming pattern that isn't as aggressive. So for example, something like that, for example. If you want to learn what I just did, this is a strum down with the thumb, up, down, up. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm using just my thumb and index finger here. So thumb goes down on beat 1. We come back with the index up on the 2 and. So 1 and 2 and. We hold beat 3. We come back on the and. We do up, down, up with index. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This is a much lighter sounding rumba. Okay. And this is a really nice progression to add to your collection of rumba patterns. And that's all I'll give you in this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. And let me know in the comments below if there's something that you would like to see in a future video. And I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.